All 6 of these women expressed degrees of opposition to aspects of the police task force recommendations, but only one was smeared. Section 1, the Accusations. May December 15th. Toni Moos calls Lee Eng a liar. Kenan Moos calls Lee Eng unfit.
And our first speaker would be Toni Moos.
Okay, with 8 hands raised, I see 9. I will go ahead and say 3 minutes for each person.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak, and welcome to the incoming City Council members. I want to address the comments that Lynette Lee Eng made at the November 24th City Council meeting, in which she claimed that she and her family were being threatened by Justice Vanguard.
Lee Eng never used the words threaten. Only Mayor Jan Pepper did.
I want to clearly state that my husband and I were standing next to our son, Kenan Moos, as he sent those texts. Kenan and Lynette have communicated multiple times over the last few months, to the point that she shared her personal contact information with him. Lynette claimed to be in support of measures that would stand for social and racial justice.
Lee Eng never promised to vote yes on any specific legislation.
So when she began to vacillate on issues that would directly impact such social and racial justice, he reacted to her and voiced his disappointment. At no point in time did he ever threaten her safety, nor that of her family.
He did assert your name will be all over the papers.
That was all fictitious and meant to incite sympathy towards her and anger towards Justice Vanguard.
Lee Eng never said her physical safety or that of her family had been threatened. It is fictitious to say she said that.
As a mother, the lesson I always have taught my children is that honesty and integrity are integral. Lynette is a public official and blatantly lied.
Keep watching and we will show you that Lee Eng never said that. She did not lie about the text she received.
She needs to apologize publicly. Thank you.
Thank you, Toni. Next, City Clerk.
Oops. Our next speaker is Kenan.
It's Kenan. Cool. First, I want to congratulate Nisa on being the first Black mayor of Los Altos. That is a huge step, and that's really awesome for you. So, congratulations. Lynette.
Oh my, addressing a council member during a meeting as if she were a child. Impolite? Maybe uncivil?
It has now been 2 weeks since you criminalized Justice Vanguard and me. 2 weeks since you joined the Karens of America with your continued denigration of Black people.
Lee Eng, a Karen? Actually, it was the city attorney who told Lee Eng to take the text to Police Chief Andy Galea.
As a public servant to our community, you are subjected to facing public comment.
Kenan's public comments via text on November 24 were speaking out of order, violating city meeting norms, and looked like an attempt to influence the upcoming SRO vote.
The two of us have spoken multiple times to how the previous city council was, quote, racist to you, rude to you, and wouldn't listen when you would bring up race and diversity training.
Lee Eng has asked for diversity training, not necessarily anti-racist training, which is not the same thing.
These were comments you made before you were reelected. And at the time, I was worried that these were empty words and possibly lies, and that this was not your true stance.
Perhaps there was a misconstruing and miscommunication, such as can happen between people of different ages, countries, or cultures.
Then you campaigned, along with Terry Couture and Scott Spielman. This can be evidenced from the brochure that Los Altos residents received that has the three of you listed as vote for these, and not in the other category, which was not vote for these, which was Sally Meadows and Jonathan Weinberg.
Lee-Engs, Spielman, and Couture did not run together as a slate. Kenan seems to be referring to the mailing by an independent organization.
The two candidates that you ran with continually showed their true colors of ignorance, racism, and closed-mindedness, denouncing BLM and advocating for stop and frisk, which has been proven to be extremely racist.
Kenan is cherry-picking Spielman's remarks about stop and frisk. So hearing this, Spielman called into this December 15 meeting and got in line to make a gentlemanly public reply.
Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, a vote for the third-party auditor to field complaints about police behavior and to remove the SRO program from Los Altos High. You were the most prevalent opposition at each vote.
On November 24, technically Lee-Eng was the most prevalent, but Enander was a close second, and they all cooperated to remove the already tiny teeth from the recommendations. The first thing all five did was drop the term auditor.
Bringing up nonsense issues such as budget.
Nonsense issue, budget concerns, costs. That's Lee-Eng's brand.
When just hours earlier, you had voted to give the Los Altos Police Department $370,000+ for some new thing that they needed.
That $370 million was for a new incident crime database and dispatch system that has all the extra demographics that BLM movement wants. This was mandated several years ago by federal and state law.
So I texted you with knowledge of your words from our previous conversations, expressed my disappointment in your actions.
You also expressed your name is going to be all over the papers. How should the public interpret that? You were going to praise her?
And stated, as I mentioned previously, that your running mates, as well as their supporters, are racist.
Kenan does not quite call Lee-Eng a racist, but does seem to imply guilt by association with racists.
Your response to my messages was to publicly announce that you were being threatened. Your family. This is outrageous and very dangerous.
What is really outrageous and dangerous are the two edits in this official audio where Kenan said the word threaten. Listen again.
Your response to my messages was to publicly announce that you were being threatened. Your family. This is outrageous and very dangerous. I will not sit quietly by. And by the way, you can't self-proclaim that you aren't racist, for those of you who are thinking that right now.
And by the way, you can't claim that Kenan's texts during the meeting were private. Those sent to Lee-Eng and any sent to Bruins are part of the public record.
Racism is also supporting policies that disproportionately target a certain population. You, Lynette, are a public servant, and clearly you are not fit to serve our community.
With their weak support of the police and SRO recommendations, the entire council has perpetuated policies that disproportionately target. Why aren't they all unfit? Why is Lee-Eng singled out? Anti-Chinese?
Although Los Altos has had a tumultuous past, the future is looking brighter than ever. People are stepping up and making their voices heard, fighting for positive change. And you, Lynette, are a terrible representation and unfit person for this job. A mentor of mine, Comrade Donnelly, a Los Altos teacher, constantly says to me, "You can't stop the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop."
Kenan calls his high school teacher, Seth Donnelly, a mentor. Kenan has said that a couple of teachers are part of the leadership of Justice Vanguard. These two teachers have given strong word testimony at several city public meetings.
Resign. This should be the end of Eng. Thank you.
There's the punchline. Toni let him have it. You got to admire the alliteration.
Resign. This should be the end of Eng. Thank you.
At least with this Lee-Eng resign operation, Toni Moos is owning it, unlike with the Bruins operation. Either way, Justice Vanguard name gets in the papers.
Thank you, Kenan. Next, Andrea.
Section 2, what was texted and said during the November 24th meeting. Moos's 3 texts and Lee-Eng's initial remarks. Council condemns, Pepper says threaten. Lee-Eng interprets as texts to silence her. City attorney says to take text to police. Kenan sent a 4th text reframing the text as not a threat. Lee-Eng does not see this 4th text till later.
And the city encouraged MVLA to investigate and implement other non-police models to foster overall student well-being and create a safe and equitable environment.
At the November 24 meeting, after the complaint process vote, Mayor Pepper attempts to start discussion.
Before we move forward onto that item, I just want to make a comment that the reason why I voted what I did is because I'm getting information or comments from members of Vanguard calling me racist now.
The first 3 texts. Your name will be all over the papers. We know there are racists that supported you. You are trying to delay this. It has nothing to do with budget, and you know this. You lied to me in our discussion that you were going to support racial matters. You said you were the only one in favor, and it looks like you're the only one against them. Very disappointing. Lee-Eng speaks out.
So I don't appreciate it. And I would like to state that I did it because I lacked information, and there are other reasons why I took the position that I have. I'm making this known public because if anything were to occur to me or my family,
Occur, like smearing the family name, next door gossip, racist stickers, whipping up a resignation petition?
I'm making it known that I voted the way I did, and I'm representing my concerns because of lack of information and because I had concerns moving forward. So that said, I just want to protect myself and protect my family. Thank you. Now we can move on.
Listen to the first 3 texts again. Your name will be all over the papers. We know there are racists that supported you. You are trying to delay this. It has nothing to do with the budget, and you know this. You lied to me in our discussion that you were going to support racial matters. You said you were the only one in favor, and it looks like you're the only one against them. Very disappointing. Wait for Mayor Pepper to use the word threaten.
Sorry to hear that, Lynette.
Yeah,
I
no,
am too.
That's unacceptable.
right.
That is really unacceptable.
No one should be threatening anyone based on this. And yeah, that's not okay. And thank you for
People are concerned about their voicing concerns. If you're concerned about voicing concerns because of how you're treated, I am very concerned about how I'm being treated as well. So thank you.
Lee-Eng didn't see the last text until sometime later. I want to be clear, this is in no way a threat of any kind. He probably sent it after hearing Pepper use the word threaten. Was he trying to cover up?
Thank you for bringing that up, Lynette.
What Lee-Eng clarified was that she was being maltreated by name-calling and defamation. She did not use words like threat, violence, bodily harm.
But, okay, now, if we can we go to...
I just want to say something, Lynette, if those were sent by emails, I think you should send them on to the city manager or the police chief. That would be important to have those emails sent on. Thank you.
The city attorney told Lee-Eng to go to the police. So who is the Karen criminalizing Justice Vanguard? Bruins also received some critical live texts. Bruins criticizes teachers who use strong words but did not report incidents. For example, Seth Donnelly and Melinda Price. Minutes later, Bruins says, community members are texting me.
Mayor, can I make a couple of comments before we jump into accepting this or not accepting this? So one thing I wanted to say is there is something that really kind of disappointed me in all of this, or maybe I should even go farther and say it's disturbing.
Bruins argues for ending the SR program, but includes this criticism of certain teachers in her remarks.
I understand the students being concerned and not comfortable providing feedback and all. unfortunately, and I've been left with a very strong impression that teachers at a school who have expressed themselves tonight, expressed themselves at the town hall and
Such teachers as Seth Donnelly and Melinda Price.
you know, I wonder, what are they doing with this information? Okay, because I think we have in our society and such an obligation to report. You know, if somebody came to school with black bruises on them, the teachers have an obligation to report that in terms of potential child abuse, right? If you're using strong words, and we're getting some strong words from teachers and such, you know, I just, that's disturbing to me. And I have to say that because I'm sure if some of these people are still on here, I really would ask that you think about your role first and foremost as an educator and what your obligation is. And then secondly, how you might view in terms of being the advocate for change and such, okay? Because those are two separate things, and I don't let one cloud the other. The other thing is, it's been painfully obvious to me with work that's been done that we really don't have a clear purpose of what the SRO function is.
Bruins goes on for 3 minutes in support of elimination of the current SRO program at the high school, but leaving the door open for MVLA.
Okay.
I could make a motion, Jeannie.
And then when I got the floor, I want to make sure, because I did just myself got a text message from a member of the public that I was not apparently clear on what I was saying.
Bruins was closing her remarks 3 minutes later when she announced that she also is receiving texts from a member of the public.
I have heard loud and clear. Teachers have come out and talked with us. Students have come out and talked. My disappointment, though, is with any even a one negative encounter is not acceptable, okay? And as an adult, if you are aware of a negative encounter, something should have been done right then and there. Something should have either gone to Win Satterwhite, it should have come to the chief, it could have come to the city manager. If you see something, say something. So that's what my disappointment is.
Who is texting Bruins? Who considers a teacher, Seth Donnelly, a mentor? What organization counts Seth Donnelly as a leader?
Something. So that's what my disappointment is. I appreciate everybody coming out now, but the time to, you also need to do it in the moment. And again, that was what I was trying to get at. I've heard what's happened, but that's the message.
Do you remember how the Bruins name was all over the papers this summer thanks to a Bruins Resign campaign?
That's where my disappointment was.
So I have a question.
Can I have a motion, Mayor?
Wait.
Read our ideas for preventing council live texting. Article coming soon at losaltospolitico.com.